and we're gonna get this kicked off. So folks, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Nick Gomez. I'm one of the DCX educators here for I Am Master Academy. I'm actually one of the ones that send the trade ideas on the Swipecoin app for leverage positions. Here on DCX, I also send you guys exchange ideas to let you guys all know potential positions with market opportunities that let you get into these trade ideas so you can potentially enter into positions, both buy and sell, and of course add to your portfolio. So let's start. What is Bitcoin? I think it's really important to understand what Bitcoin really is. See, some of us are probably trading it. Some of us are probably seeing it. Maybe you've already been trading with us, but maybe you haven't caught all of the details that you're currently seeing right now in regards to, of course, what cryptocurrency is. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin, you have to understand it like this. I love trading crypto. I love investing into crypto. But at the same time, I understood what cryptocurrency is and what Bitcoin is. And that's how I became successful in the markets, because I understood what I was trading. I understood what I was doing in the markets because I knew the industry that I became a part of. Folks, cryptocurrency is a lot bigger than what you think it is. It's a lot bigger than a chart. It's a lot bigger than just trying to make money both buying and selling or investing. Folks, this is an industry. This is a life-changing industry, and I think it's revolutionizing the world. And I'm going to take some time here on the introduction to Bitcoin because we have to understand the evolution of money. Money has evolved in all sorts of fashions, okay? If we go back to way back when we got the barter system, maybe you remember when you went to high school, you went to middle school, elementary, or wherever you went to school, maybe they remember that they taught you about the barter system. It was a way that people were exchanging or transacting in that time. And what I could give you a great example is, for example, an individual that wanted to buy some fruit. At that time, there was no currency. There was no dollars. There was no euros. There was no pounds. There was no pesos. They did what's something called a barter system, where they were exchanged. Like this example, let's say some shells for some carrots, or some cows for some chicken. They used different objects or assets at that time to create a transaction. But if you've ever studied economics, or if you ever studied what a currency needs to be successful, and this is really important gems that I hope you catch. A currency needs to be divisible. A currency needs to have a limited supply. A currency cannot be counterfeit. And a currency should not have control over one's sole authority. These are just basic economics. And what we saw in the barter system was, of course, if you were transacting and, for example, you had a whole lot of carrots, through time, what happened to those carrots? They go bad, they spoil. So it wasn't a good source of an asset or a currency. Same thing, for example, let's say a chicken. You couldn't divide a chicken and give the same amount of value to each different piece for it to become a currency. So eventually, folks, the coins and the metal money came about. We are talking about silver, gold, copper, bronze. All of these different metals started to become a currency. But this was then the problem. I want you to visualize yourself at that era, in that time, you having so much gold, and you have to now store it. And now you have to be cautious or worried about somebody potentially stealing your gold. Or what if you have to travel with all of your gold? How do you even divide your gold? See, this was a problem, and so much that it became so obsolete that eventually individuals actually with metal money, they started mixing different components of metals to actually dilute and counterfeit gold, silver, bronze. It might look like it in the outside surface, but they were using different metals to actually dilute, and it wasn't 100% authentic. So then we went over to the paper money. This is the IOU. This is when China actually launched, through history. If you actually take time, you could tell, all right, that money actually, like paper money, all started out in China with papers with the IOU, and eventually Europe caught on, the US caught on, and I want you guys to participate, everybody, in the chat box. What was, for those of us here in the States, what was the US dollar backed by? What was the dollar backed by before? What was it? Because nowadays it is backed by trust. But eventually, all of these different countries around the world started to use fiat. And it would represent, of course, money of certain governments and certain banks, allocation of certain funds and supply in different countries and in different banks. And as I see in the chat box, yes, our dollar used to be backed by gold, and that changed, everyone. So if you look at money, money has evolved, yes, but there are certain problems in finance, in the world of money, that are still in what I call the Stone Age. After the paper money, I want to ask you, and just honestly, there's a couple thousand of you all here. Folks, do some of you all still carry cash in your wallet? Just put a yes or a no. I personally never have cash. I lose it. I don't know. It's just something about it. I just never have cash. I feel like I have cash in my wallet. I spend more than I do. I can't count it as well as, of course, having an account and a debit card and a credit card. But it happens. Nowadays, everybody only has a card, and so much that there's credit cards, debit cards, the works. And recently, of course, with the pandemic, folks, countries, even like China and out in Asia, they started to withhold actual physical cash because they believed that the virus was actually spreading through cash. So think about it. All of everything has been then transcending and changing into what? Digital money. If we use our debit card, at the end of the day, it's some zeros in your account. Most of these banks, believe it or not, do not even have the availability of that money in cash at your current bank. I promise you that when you get to your desired goal of money, if you ever try to withdraw $100,000, $1 million, $2 million in cash at your bank, you will see for yourself that the banks don't even carry that amount of cash. So as we progress, nowadays we have PayPal, okay? Now we have, for example, Cash App, Zelle. We have all these different types of ways to transfer money around the world. But listen to this, everyone. It's still with the same problem as we were back in credit cards and back in cash. And what is that? Is that there is a central authority. Listen to me. There is a central authority. Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, right? The Federal Reserve, depending on your country, might be different. But there is still a central authority at the end of the day, where if something happens to Chase, something happens to your money. I understand there's FDIC insured, but it's only up to $250,000. Where banks still open at 9, close at 5. Where weekends, you can't really do much action on your bank accounts, yet there are cars like Teslas that drive themselves. There are people going to space. Technology is evolving, but the world of finance, in my opinion, is still in the Stone Age. Wires, okay? Wires, for example, can still take 3, 4, 5 business days for them to clear internationally. 30% of the world, listen to this, 30% of the world still does not have access to a bank account. So they cannot participate to the global economy. That is the power, okay? That is the power, okay? Of, for example, having cryptocurrency, because this is the new era, everyone. Most people were a little intimidated about what the internet was, but look at everybody depending on it in every which way. So now if we look at now what cryptocurrency is doing, cryptocurrency is what I call Internet 2.0. It is creating trust in finance. It is allowing people to become their own bank. And I want you to look at cryptocurrency like this. If you've ever tried withdrawing because you're going to purchase a home or purchase a car, I've had this happen multiple times. And if anyone in the chat box can participate and let me know, feel free to shout out. But if you've ever asked for a down payment, let's say you wanted to buy a car and you wanted that cash and you wanted to pretty much withdraw in your bank, what did the bank do? They didn't just hand it to you. They wanted to ask you, hey, but why are you taking out money? Are you sure you want to take it out? They even, most of the time, they might not even have enough cash at that location. So what cryptocurrency is allowing you to do is look at it like this. Crypto is called peer-to-peer, meaning, I want to give you an example. If someone washes your car or you wash someone's car, for that service, you then hand them a $20 bill. When you hand them that $20 bill or receive that $20 bill for that service, there is no one in between. There is no bank. There is no merchant. There is no 3% fee. There is nothing in between. That is what is called peer-to-peer transaction. And folks, that is what cryptocurrency is all about. If we move on over now to the next slide so you guys could understand, Bitcoin started it all. Bitcoin was the first successful, listen to me, first successful cryptocurrency in the space ever to be documented. It not only was the first successful, but the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network, meaning that Chase cannot control or monetize Bitcoin. No president, no entity, no government, no anybody. What decentralization means is that the power is of the people, of the community. It is not central authority, but decentralized, meaning that everybody is a piece or small owner, okay? So in simple words, as we see here on the slide, Bitcoin is an open source software to transfer money over the internet. It was actually created, everybody, in 2008, and it was launched and live. The net got live in 2009. The owner or creator, his name is Satoshi Nakamoto. We do not know if he is a male, a female, a group, a group of individuals, AI, someone from the future. We do not know who this individual is. All we know is he created probably one of the most powerful inventions and technologies ever to be created in the world. And he, for creating it, owns a small percentage of what BTC is, but he does not control it. Because the system is ran by a decentralized network of computers around the world that keep track of all Bitcoin transactions. So it's very different to banking. It's very different to the world. All of these miners and computers are what actually keep Bitcoin alive, keep the transactions running, and of course keep minting Bitcoin, right? Just to give you guys a fun fact, if you guys are not aware, there was actually a couple different cryptocurrencies before Bitcoin, okay? Before Bitcoin that actually came about, but they were unsuccessful. And this is why. This is a fun fact. I love information, I love data, and I'm sure you're gonna appreciate it as well. There were a couple coins that tried, but there was something that Bitcoin solved that no other crypto from the past could do. And it was called the double spend problem. What that was is, for example, if I send you $100 in Bitcoin, the goal of course, this network is for you to now have that $100 of BTC, and I don't have that $100 anymore, right? Well, some of these coins before had something called the double spend problem where, for example, I gave you $100, but I still had that $100 in my wallet. That was one of the biggest problems that was solved and fixed thanks to Bitcoin, and that is why it completely launched and is the successful coin. Now, folks, there are over 10,000 different cryptocurrencies. And with DCX, we help you really cipher, sort, and know which ones to get involved with, which ones to potentially add as an idea in your portfolio, and which ones we do in trading, okay? Prior. So BTC, right now, actively, let me look at the price. I think Bitcoin is, we might be a little off. We might be a little off on, for example, the price. But Bitcoin's price currently, don't get scared here, is 48,000, okay? 48,500. Okay? And this is what's very important to understand. If you're here, listen to me. Listen to me. Drop a number 1 if you're brand new. Drop a number 1 if this is the first time that you have ever heard about cryptocurrency. Because this is probably what will change your life. I'm telling you. When I saw this, it just made sense to me. The supply of Bitcoin, it will only ever have 21 million coins. Listen, one more time. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins ever. It doesn't matter who's in office, what happens to the world, if there's another pandemic, there is nobody that could change that. But if we look at now our nations, our governments, every place around the world, what has happened to our currencies? You have been noticing something, a huge shift. Our country, especially here in the US, there is something called a stimulus act. A lot of these countries are trying to now do something that is called stimulate the economy. With what happened in the pandemic, give out loans, give out checks, so people in need could actually, of course, continue and follow through. But the problem is, most of our countries, there is no limit. One more time, there is no limit in our money. There is no limit on the US dollar. There is no limit on the British pound. There is no limit on the euro. There is no limit on the yen. There is no limit on the peso. Our countries are in debt. The world is in debt, and they can continue to reprint and reprint and reprint and reprint more money. But what happens? Something called inflation, and something even worse that follows, which is called hyperinflation. So listen to this. I want you, and this is a good question because we got a couple thousand of y'all on here. What was a piece of gum, okay? What was a pack of gum? I'm actually really curious because this will be really cool. What was a pack of gum when you were in middle school? Can you remember? How much was it when you went to go buy a pack of gum at the gas station? Think about it. And now, how much is it now? Or better yet, when you went to do groceries and you were in middle school, how much could $100 buy you? Better yet, how much was rent? How much was gas? You see the stories in the mid-1900s, early 1900s, cars were going for a couple thousand. Gas was in the pennies. And look at you guys. I see everybody in the chat box. 80 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents. Folks, I could go to any gas station right now in Miami where I'm located, and a pack of gum could be $2, $3, $4. Pretty crazy now, isn't it? Well, folks, it's called inflation. When there is more of something and there's no limit, the value of it goes down. There's actually a study. Listen to this. There's actually a study, everybody, that our money, especially the US dollar on a year-to-year basis, is losing its value towards inflation at a 1 to 2% rate a year. So I'm glad you guys are having this breakthrough, because this is really, really important for you to understand. Some of us are not aware. You got to have that awareness. You got to be present in this, because that $100 is worth what $100 is today. 5 years from now, $100 might not have that same purchasing power that it did 5 years ago. Makes sense? So in regards to Bitcoin, Bitcoin will only ever have 21 million Bitcoin. And a Bitcoin could actually be divided into over 100 million pieces. And these pieces are called Satoshis. So just like dollars, we have cents. Bitcoin is the whole number. Satoshis are the cents, or the decimal. Make sense? So you could buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, transact for $20 worth of Bitcoin. You could do all sorts of transactions, because Bitcoin's divisible to over 100 million pieces called Satoshis. Now, this is what's really important if you're taking notes here. Folks, there are already 18 million Bitcoin created and in circulation. Fun fact, there's actually more millionaires in the world than there are Bitcoin. And right now, currently, there are only 3 million Bitcoin left to be created, minted, and owned. So I want you to ask yourself, right now it's a race. 3 million Bitcoins left, and Tesla wants in, Apple wants in, hedge funds want in, Visa wants in, corporations want in, the wealthy is getting in, retail is getting in. So it's literally a race as to who's going to own the last remaining Bitcoin, and hence why price is where it's at. People can fondle the idea of, why does a Bitcoin cost $50,000? Why could a Bitcoin go to $100,000? But let me now hit you with this. Why was then gas 25 cents? And now it's $50. Or now to fill up your diesel truck is $100. It's the backwards. Something called hyperinflation and something called deflationary. It's the opposite. It's the complete polar opposite. So some people can't fathom the idea. Why could Bitcoin go to 100,000? Well, why is have our money lost its purchasing power even to more extremity than what BTC currently is? So there's only 3 million Bitcoins left, and right now It's that race. And to give you guys an example of what a Satoshi looks like, this is a Satoshi. This is one Satoshi. 0.000000001. That's one sat. That is one Satoshi. So Bitcoin, look at this. Bitcoin's been around, folks, for over 11 years. One more time, 11 years. All right? And we have gone in all sorts of cycles. If we actually go to a chart here in a little bit, you're going to be able to see that the market is not just 11 years old, but it goes through cycles. And I'm actually going to go to the chart to actually introduce you to this. So we're going to go to the 3-day chart. Actually, let's go to the weekly. And you could see how if we go to the market and we just take a big step back, we're actually use the BLX here. Here we are. This is time. This is one of the longest recorded charts here for BTC. Back when BTC was valued at 1 penny. 1 penny. And now it is valued at a $47,000. We're talking about something that has gone up in value, currently at market price. You could see that percentage. That is ridiculous. I don't even know. Is that's pretty obnoxious. That is over 475 million% so far. So Bitcoin has gone in two different types of cycles that I really want you guys to understand. A bull market and a bear market. These markets represent price going up and price going down. Was anyone part of the 2017 bull market? Drop a 1. Was anyone part of the 2018 bear market? Drop a 2. Has anyone been into crypto before 2017? Drop a 3. You have probably experienced all of which I'm talking about. An impulse of price for about 1,000 days. A pullback in price for about 300 or 400 days. Another impulse of price for about 1,000. Another pullback of bear market. This is where most of you probably participated. When Bitcoin went from $1,000 to 20,000 and then pulled back all the way down to 2,000. And then recently, most recently, when price went from 3,000 now to 40 plus thousand. So folks, we're currently in this cycle called a bull market. But everything, in my opinion, has, of course, a timeline. There are bull markets and there are bear markets. Okay? Right now, we're in the middle of a bullish market where personally, I think we have one last leg up to potentially 150, 200, maybe just 90,000. And then the market will potentially then pull back and start into a retracement or a bear market. Because if we let's just be traders here, everybody. Let's kind of just look. We've pulled back so far in this mini cycle that we did from 60 and we pulled back to about 26,000. But if we extend this and let's say we really do go to 250,000. Let's say we go to 250,000 and then we pull back to 97,000. Or we go to 250,000 and we pull back to the 786, that'll be 56,000. All of this is possible due to the nature, the technology, and the expansion in cryptocurrency all over the world. Folks, I want you to understand something. El Salvador officially named Bitcoin a legal tender and currency in their country. There are now talks in South America about other countries passing it as a bill. There are now all over the world, people are now starting to use it even for merchandise, for companies. It is not like it used to be years ago that cryptocurrency was frowned upon or looked at weird. It's not anymore. Cryptocurrency has evolved into potentially an everyday currency, and slowly we are seeing what is called an adoption rate go up little by little. So this is why I wanted to cover, because now, folks, for those of you that are brand new, you're going to understand what learning the emotions of a market is. We go through all sorts of phases in the cryptocurrency market. Disbelief, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic. Let me kind of go over some of these emotions. This is a perfect market cycle that we are seeing here currently in the market. And how do you think, let's kind of put yourself in the picture. You got in Bitcoin when it was $220. Listen to me. Let's just round it. $200. And you bought one Bitcoin. And you've never invested. You've never been in any market. And literally, listen to me. 800 days later, your $200 is now worth $20,000. How are you feeling? Tell me, what is your emotion? You are going through something called euphoria, thrill. Oh my God, it's going to keep going up. Oh my God, I'm going to make 100,000. No, I got to 10. Now I got to 20. I could probably go to 40. No, you know what? Let me get some loans. Let me refinance the house. Let me put more money in the market. And you are caught into an emotion of euphoria. And the market likes to really play with people that are not conscious or aware of the emotions in the market. Because as there is euphoria, there is also complacency, capitulation, anger, depression, disbelief, and then the rally starts right back up. So what if you understood now what to do as the market went from the lows to the highs, from the highs to the lows? If you could understand where you should be taking profits and when you should be buying. See, this is what DCX does. And I got introduced to the emotions of the markets, all thanks to the man himself, Crypto Picasso. I've been studying his material for a very long time, and he introduced me and hundreds of thousands of people all over the world to the emotions of the market. And that's what we do here with DCX. So much that if you were a part of DCX here about a month ago or 2 months ago, you have probably experienced the recent emotions that the market recently went into. Was anyone a part of when Bitcoin was 29,000 and 28,000 and 20 and 30,000? Drop a number one. Who was there? Who remembers? Who experienced those emotions of doubt, self-doubt? Will the market go down? Is it over? Is the market going to continue pushing? You know what? Maybe it is going to 25,000. Maybe it is going to 20. Maybe this thing's going back to zero. That is the emotions of a market cycle. And folks, so much that Crypto Picasso, myself, and many other educators signaled that we were doing a reaccumulation. This was a schematic that we were waiting for to play out. This was the before, and you have to take advantage of the emotions in the market, folks. This was pre, this was after. Before, after. Before, after. We went from $29,000 to current market price close to $49,000. It is very important about education. It is very important to know, and this is why DCX is here for you. And you can understand now how powerful this is. Because if you could understand the market, you could drastically take advantage of the market, your portfolio, your trading, etc. So for those of you that are brand new, folks, we have a website called myswipecoin.im where all of the trade ideas are sent to you to leverage, so you could trade this both on MetaTrader 4 futures account as well. You then have an application as well where you on the go can take any position, both buy and sell, trade, and of course portfolio ideas as well. And folks, what I want to do here, since we just got introduced to BTC and it is now 7:40, so we are now 30 minutes into to our session, I want to give you guys now that new position, that new potential trade exchange idea, because the market is looking very, very nicely. All right, we have the market at 48,900. ETH is now at 37,700. XRP at $1.22. Folks, the market is recovering, but of course, we have to remove emotion from the market to understand what we're doing. So folks, that was our first day. I hope everybody have appreciated and understood and got some value out of today's session. Drop an 888 in the chat box if you learned something, because now What I'm going to be teaching you is your portfolio, and this is how I'm going to be introducing you. I'm going to now introduce you to this potential new coin. All right? So here we go, everybody. Drop an 888 if you got some value, as we're now going to go into this information. All right, everybody. So, since this is a price action bootcamp, portfolio is not going to be covered much. I strongly recommend you guys, if you really want to master exchange trading, I have 2 educators that I highly recommend. Let me actually go live really quickly. To cover this information a lot more, make sure to go to DCX. And for exchange ideas and everything that regards to portfolio, make sure to study and jump on Mike Sotero's session and also Curtis Cobain. So shout out to these exchange trading legends, Curtis Cobain and Mike Sotero. And of course, I get into a lot of these exchange ideas as well. We cover, but mostly I do trades and live trading. And of course, Zachary, Jordan, and Mike give incredible positions out in the market. So I wanted to do that really, really quickly. Now, folks, here we are, portfolio. Here we go. So here we are, folks. A portfolio, I'm going to be introducing you to a new wildcard project, but I want to drop a disclaimer here, folks. Okay? This is a project that is a small percentage of your portfolio, okay? Because in a balanced portfolio for beginners, this is what a portfolio should look like. 50% or more should conclude of BTC in your portfolio. 40% should include large market cap, 40%, for example, XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, let's say XLM, ADA, for example. And wildcard projects are, for example, let's look at this. Wildcard projects could be up and coming cryptocurrencies. Let me give you an example. Imagine being able to buy Ethereum when it first came about. Did you know Ethereum was a startup? And when it first originally launched, it was $7 to the public, and now it's $37 to $100 and peaked at 4,000. What if I told you that a lot of these coins like BNB and Cardano and XLM were eventually startup projects, startup coins? And the beauty of what I like to do in a portfolio is, of course, in that 10%, look for projects that could potentially blossom and be at the forefront of that project. Solano, an incredible asset. Cardano, Chainlink was under $1. A lot of these projects, there's so many. So Bitcoin, I recommend, here's an example. You don't have to potentially enter these positions or have these in your portfolio, but I'm just giving you an example. Large market cap, your portfolio should recommend 50% should be into BTC. Due to the fact that Bitcoin is the most important project and the one that moves all and does all. If Bitcoin goes up, the rest of the market goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market goes down. Bitcoin has never ever been dethroned from number 1, okay? Has never ever been dethroned from the top spot in the market. So that's why we recommend that your portfolio, okay, of course, at your own disclosure and at your own risk, is 50% of course, your portfolio, because you have to diversify a portfolio. It's really important. You should never just be all in one asset. So 50% should be Bitcoin, 40%, as many of you know, I love XRP. XRP is actually one of my largest holdings besides Bitcoin. And of course, we have XRP as an example, Ethereum as an example, Litecoin as an example, XLM, BAT, Cardano. These coins typically, if we actually take a step back, these are coins that if we go to CoinMarketCap, here we are in the top 10, top 20. We're looking at Bitcoin's number 1 right now with a market cap of almost $1 trillion. Ethereum is number 2 with a market cap of $443 billion. Cardano is number 3, Binance is number 4, XRP is number 6, Doge is number 7. These coins I typically would suggest, okay, that you personally have them, top 20, top 50 coins in your 40% altcoin. These are coins that have already tested the time. These are coins that have already gone through their kinks. These are coins that have maybe a different use case, a different product, a different projection, a different blockchain, a different utility than when Bitcoin is. I look at Bitcoin as digital gold. And the rest of these other coins are the copper, the silver, the bronze, right? Or potentially a different precious metal, maybe a diamond, right? Just to give you some examples, I'm just throwing out some metaphors. So if we look at, for example, wildcard, 10% here. What are some projects that I recommend, for example? Wildcard projects, we got into Superbid. Who got into Superbid, everybody? Let me give you guys some examples of wildcard projects. It's finding, you know, these small, low cap projects that are diamonds in the rough. And for example, in this position, when we got into Superbid, it went from about $1 to $11. We rebought, and then it went from about $2 to $10 again, to $13, excuse me. We just recently, of course, entered the market again, and you know, we're in position, right? We're in profit. Some of you guys, depending on your entries, you're in a good position. Some of you guys are staking. A lot of these different low cap projects, we put that 10%, right? This is a riskier portion of your, of course, portfolio, but it could potentially, keyword potentially, net you a larger amount of profit. But these are wildcard projects. And keep in mind, these wildcard projects can be more risky, can have more volatility, can potentially, you know, not be here in the future. That is why we only allocate that 10% risk, and that's why it's so important, everybody, to treat this, right, into that percentage into your portfolio, right? Who remembers Dent? Was anyone in Dent, everybody? Who was in Dent, folks? Dent was a 10% wildcard project. Atari, right? Omi, for example. Some of these different projects were wildcard projects, right? Where it's coins that are coming up. They're starting out, okay? So what I want to do, everybody, is introduce you guys to a project that, you know, I've been seeing around. They've actually, a lot of you have sent me messages like, Nick, the market's back up, it's moving. Have you found any new cryptocurrencies? And I'm really picky when it comes to even, you know, getting involved in the project. I love just Bitcoin. I love just Ethereum. I love just XRP. I love, for example, the majors, in my opinion. And we find projects like Superbid, for example, or we find projects like Dent that, you know, can really net us some good, you know, percentage that then we go back into Bitcoin or Ethereum. Well, folks, I found a project and it's really, really exciting. So I'm actually going to disclose this here in a little bit. You could add this to your 10%, okay? So let's actually put some 333s in the chat box, 333s in the chat box. As I actually introduce you guys to this project. Let's go over here. I'm actually looking at the chart just in case there's a position. Give me a second here to potentially do some live trading. Now, Bitcoin's pushing strongly for the close of the day, so is ETH, and let me look at Ripple. Yeah. Look at these threes go. Awesome. Look at that position, folks. That was a great trade yesterday. Is anyone still in XRP? I hope you guys are still in XRP. We're approaching TP3. It's an incredible move so far, folks. But all right, everybody. So this new project, this new coin is in the wildcard project. Just to give you guys some background on the project, it is in the industry of gaming. I myself, I'm a huge gamer, and I love gaming in general, and this is a big industry of gaming. I believe it's a multi-billion-a-year industry, and every single year the gaming industry tends to double, from individuals entering tournaments, cash prizes, skins, digital assets, V-Bucks. I mean, gaming is really, really, really big. And this coin, for example, is actually their founder, one of their founder actually, is parts of the esports community as well. He's actually one of the top 10 franchisees behind esports, and he launched this cryptocurrency and started running tournaments with this utility token. So before I even introduce you guys to the project, show you guys the website, teach you guys what it's called, I want to show you guys what the utility is, the reason I decided personally to get involved, and you know, their backing on what they're doing. So it is a gaming coin. Okay, this gaming coin, for example, will be used in tournaments, will be used in the esports community, will be used to buy skins, to potentially use as, of course, in the gaming space, to even tip or donate to, for example, streamers and gamers. It's really, really exciting because, you know, we've seen the community of Twitch, we've seen the community of gaming really evolve. And I think it's really important, you know, when I go over cryptocurrencies, for example, I have some rules in my opinion. And I know, for example, Kurt and Mikey do too. You want to look at an asset that has a team that is not just new to this industry and is launching it in cryptocurrency. You want to look at a team. You want to evaluate a team. For example, if we look at, for example, I don't know. I'm picking a random coin here, okay? Random. We go to Quant and we go to their website, right? This is what I spend a lot of time on. We go to Quant, we go on their website, we want to learn who is Quant, who are their founders. I want to go to their LinkedIn. I want to go and take a step back and see what they've done in their industry prior to crypto. Who are their advisors? What are they accomplishing? What are they different? Who is their competition? What blockchain are they on? There's so many questions, okay, that you really want to take advantage. I actually just saw somebody in the chat box guess the coin. Look at that. Somebody actually guessed it. So this coin is a low cap project. It is going to be added to that 10% wild card. And the token, okay, so big reveal over here. Let me grab some snacks. Imagine if the stream crashes right now. The anticipation is probably killing y'all, but I'm having a blast here with y'all. So this project is actually called Nobility, okay? Nobility token, all right? This project just recently launched their new blockchain. They're actually on the Binance blockchain. And they have some really interesting, what they call auto staking, okay? Auto staking feature in their project. So really, really, really excited to cover, guys. Just so you guys like the drum roll. I'm loving everybody. So let me actually cover it over here. We're gonna go to Nobility. And we're go to new. Here we are. So this is the project that we're looking at currently, folks. It's called Nobility New. Where you could get access to it is, of course, since it is a Binance Smart Chain coin. This one is personally, you use to enter this position, you actually have to have BNB, okay? You buy directly in PancakeSwap, you're gonna have some BNB, you exchange. So similar like when we went to Uniswap and bought, for example, Superbit. You know, you exchange your ETH for Superbit, or you've exchanged maybe with Mikey and Kurt, some of these different projects that you have to exchange ETH on MetaMask, or on Superbit, you gotta exchange, you know, on Uniswap your ETH to Superbit. Same thing here. You exchange Binance coin, BNB, to then Nobility in PancakeSwap. So for example, if we go to their website really quickly, this is called Nobility. Their founder, Kyle, is already in the esports place. They actually just hosted a $50,000 tournament, okay? So $50,000 worth of their token was just recently ran on a tournament with individuals like FaZe Clan, okay? Individuals that are really big in the gaming industry. And they were playing in these tournaments. So the goal is for Nobility, and it was actually the first cryptocurrency tournament to ever be hosted in esports gaming. And it was for $50,000. And the goal is for Nobility to be used the token in the gaming community, in between FaZe, all of these different gaming and clans and teams and all of these organizations. And the tokenomics is pretty interesting. They have their website, of course. Their live chart is actually here. We go to Blog Finance here. You could actually look at the chart. This is a low cap project, everyone. And keep in mind, it's only 10%, right? It's only 10% of your portfolio. Please guys, this is a low cap. Of course, the reason we call it a wildcard project is because you have to obviously keep in mind that it is a low cap. You know, there is risk in these positions, but there is a lot of fruit behind them as well. So of course, if we look at where the chart currently is, we had about an inverted head and shoulders. We've printed a high here at about 0.0015. And we just recently got rejected, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was at the 786. So let me actually blow up this chart. And, oh, I can't. Okay, let me exit here. Draw some Fibonacci's. So we could kind of do some. There we go. We recently got rejected at the 786. And now price is holding right back up at around the 382. So I would advise everybody some good entries if you're looking potentially on this exchange idea, okay, is to aim for that 382, okay, aim for that 382 and that 50 inches dollar cost average from current priced to, of course, you know, the zone that I'm marking up. So just draw your Fibonacci from low to high and aim to enter at that 382 or that 5. That's that exchange idea zone that I'm going to be giving you guys, all right? So, folks, to actually get Nobility, you're going to have Binance. You're going to go to your MetaMask. And the cool thing about Nobility, okay, is they have an auto staking feature. So you know how we like Superbid? Superbid, for example, we have that staking. That they have dropped their reward, but initially it was a really good, you know, it was every single day you get paid staking coins every single hour. Well, they have a really similar platform as well, where every transaction that happens in the network, a piece of it is actually paid out to the holders, but not in the native token, in USD. So I'm going to be going more in depth. You know, I'll probably share a little bit more on the next sessions because we're already at about 7:57. But this is actually, folks, the new project. This is the wildcard project you guys could actually get on the site. You know, it shows you how to buy. You're going to have to go through PancakeSwap, the works, get some BNB, and get involved, right? It is currently not on TradingView. I'm looking at questions here. Let me look over here. So keep in mind, folks, this is a 10% project. So it's not put all your eggs in one basket, not at all. This is a project that, you know, you go lightly and it could potentially, you know, see some really good fruition and really see some climb in price. So just wanted to cover that. And I'm glad we did it in the introduction today of what portfolios are. Because, of course, we have our 50%, our 40%, and our 10%. And Nobility now, that new token, will be added to the wild card, okay? Wild card. So the only place to currently buy, everybody, is, of course, on, if you look at markets, it's currently doing about $3 million a day in volume in PancakeSwap. So that's the only place you could currently buy. Some of these low cap projects, they only start, for example, on Uniswap or on PancakeSwap, or you can only buy on MetaMask. And as coins grow, for example, Cardano, XRP, Polkadot, they get listed in bigger exchanges. But like I shared with you guys, it's being able to catch a project early, right? Before it becomes what it becomes. So folks, I hope you all enjoyed the boot camp. I hope you all enjoyed exactly everything, the introduction to what, of course, Bitcoin is, what all that cryptocurrency really is, everybody. The last thing that I do want to cover, everybody, is what is price action. And price action, folks, look at the market go. We got ETH, someone said a new high, 38.31. Look at that. ETH is running. ETH is running, everybody. We got a new high all around. So we got XRP is about to break. We're looking at TP3. And ETH is now expanding to 38.32. BTC now is at about 48. Folks, me personally, I do expect some sort of rejection here in this vicinity. And as soon as we get that, we'll be jumping into a new trade idea. But folks, all price action is there's two types of ways to analyze the market, right? We have fundamental. fundamental, and we have, for example, technical. So technical analysis really is what price action is. And price action, so fundamental news, for example, could be news events, ideas, as news press, El Salvador naming Bitcoin as a legal tender, Tesla buying BTC, the government putting a tax law. These are fundamental analysis where you use news and information to potentially guide you on the long term as to either buy or sell. Technical analysis is jumping into a chart and understanding price action. Price action could be resistance, support, candlestick patterns, Fibonacci. And this is why this course is called the Price Action Bootcamp, because we're going to be discovering and breaking down everything that there is in technical analysis so you could understand how to trade based off price action. So really simple, folks. I hope everyone's excited as me in regards to this course. Friday, we're going live. All right, ETH is now 38.22. Look at this daily close that ETH just printed. Folks, I am really excited. We have the 3-day closing in about a day. Look at that weekly break. I hope a lot of you all bought ETH. It was the biggest holding that I bought here in the recent low that we printed. And folks, we're seeing the rest of the market really climb behind Superbid, Atari. A lot of these projects that we were involved with are really starting to see this movement. But folks, I want to take, and just pause. Be very cautious with risk. Be very cautious with getting so euphoric in positions and staying in buy positions and going nuts in the market. Be patient, because right now the market's overextended, and if it ran away from you, it ran away from you. Let it come to you. Breathe. Take a step back. Get away from the chart, because when the market gets this euphoric, just like we saw a massive move high, we get a massive sell-off and a massive rejection or a massive retracement. And you don't want to be involved when it's too late or when, for example, the move already happened. All right, everybody? So, folks, it was an absolute pleasure. Our new coin has been announced as our wildcard project. Of course, you get it on PancakeSwap. You're going to need some BNB. You could, of course, just search on the internet on how to exactly use it, but I don't want to take too much time of our Price Action Bootcamp how to do so. But folks, this is my only Instagram, Nick Gomez with 2 Ks. I do not have any other Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, none of that. Just one place. Okay, everyone? So I hope everyone has an incredible rest of their night, incredible rest of their day. This concludes our first day of the Price Action Bootcamp, everyone. And I hope everyone had as good as a time as I did, and you guys learned a lot of good information. All right, everybody, take care. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll catch you guys all now. Friday is our next session, and it will be at 12 p.m. Eastern.